Egypt intensifies efforts to form temporary committee for Gaza relief and reconstruction. Prime Minister Madbouli attends 38th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa. And the Egyptian Prime Minister reaffirms Egypt's unwavering support for Palestine's right to self-determination and statehood. Hello, good evening. You're watching the latest updates from Egypt here on Qnews. Let's get more on those top stories. An Egyptian source has confirmed that Egypt is intensifying efforts to form a temporary committee to oversee the relief and reconstruction process in the Gaza Strip. The source also said that Hamas has affirmed its commitment to the three-phase ceasefire agreement and its decision not to participate in governing Gaza in the upcoming phase. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, on behalf of President al-Sisi, participated today in the opening session of the 38th Ordinary Session of the African Union Summit in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia. The session included the announcement of Angola taking over the presidency of the African Union for 2025, along with speeches from the chairperson of the African Union Commission, the United Nations Secretary General, the Palestinian President, and the Mauritanian President. The Egyptian Prime Minister reaffirmed Egypt's unwavering support for Palestine's right to self-determination and statehood. That comes as President Mahmoud Abbas praised Egypt's consistent stance and commitment to defending Palestinian rights. He also expressed hope that the upcoming Arab Summit on February 27th would reinforce support for Palestine, ensuring a strong regional and international stance amid ongoing developments. That came during their meeting in Ethiopia's capital, Addis Ababa, at the 38th Ordinary Session of the African Union Summit. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has expressed Egypt's eagerness to enhance the African Union, particularly within the African Peace and Security Council, on key issues facing the continent, including the fight against terrorism. During his meeting with Angolan President, Madbouli expressed hope for increased trade and investment exchanges, as well as strengthened cooperation in areas such as infrastructure, communications and information technology, healthcare, fertilizers, agriculture and capacity building. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli has confirmed that a decision on the new formation of the National Committee responsible for the African Peer Review Mechanism is expected soon. During his meeting with Mary Keita, the Executive Director of the APRM in Addis Ababa, the Prime Minister emphasized Egypt's commitment to focusing on administrative reform during the upcoming voluntary review. Minister of Foreign Affairs Badr Abdul Ati has revealed the catastrophic humanitarian situation in Gaza and Egypt's efforts to solidify the ceasefire agreement in the region. During his meeting with European Commissioner for Crisis Management, Abdul Ati emphasized Egypt's intention to present a comprehensive plan for Gaza's reconstruction, ensuring that Palestinians remain on their land. He also highlighted the importance of initiating the early recovery process in Gaza. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdel Ati, reviewed Egypt's efforts to monitor the implementation of the Gaza ceasefire agreement across all three phases, including the delivery of humanitarian aid and Gaza's reconstruction, while ensuring Palestinians remain on their land. During his meeting with his Irish counterpart on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference, Abdel Ati expressed Egypt's eagerness to strengthen cooperation with Ireland in the fields of vocational training, employment, and the relocation of skilled Egyptian workers to Ireland. At a press conference near the Rafah crossing, the Arab League's Assistant Secretary General condemned the slow entry of aid into Gaza as morally unacceptable. He praised Egypt's efforts in coordinating relief, but blamed Israeli restrictions for blocking ready-to-enter trucks. He urged global pressure on Israel to allow aid access, emphasizing hopes for Palestinian recovery and dignified life, while commending Egypt's role in sustaining humanitarian support. Egyptian Health and Social Solidarity ministers, along with a delegation from the Arab League led by Assistant Secretary General Hossam Zaki, have inspected the logistics center for Gaza aid operations in Arish. The officials reviewed the process of receiving aid by land, sea and air before transferring it through the Rafah border crossing. They also praised volunteers for their efforts in organizing and delivering aid to Gaza. The Minister of Health and Population, Khalid Abdul Ghaffar, confirmed that the Arab League has decided to allocate $400,000 along with 2 ambulances to support the ongoing relief efforts in the Gaza Strip. During his inspection of several sites in the city of Arish to monitor preparations for delivering humanitarian aid to Palestinians, Abdul Ghaffar emphasized the importance of addressing all the needs of the Palestinian people and continuing to provide humanitarian and medical support to those in Gaza. Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs for European Affairs, Ambassador Wael Hamed, urged the international community to begin the actual implementation of the two-state solution, aiming for a fair resolution to the Palestinian issue in line with international legitimacy and the borders of June 4, 1967. During a meeting of senior officials within the Union for the Mediterranean Framework, Hamed emphasized the need for concerted efforts to carry out a comprehensive reconstruction process in Gaza, ensuring that its people remain on their land. He also reaffirmed that the displacement of Palestinians from their land is unacceptable. Minister of Social Solidarity Maya Morsi confirmed that Egypt is primary and largest supporter of the Palestinian cause, contributing more than 70% of the total aid that has entered Gaza since October 2023. During her tour of Arish, Morsi highlighted the Egyptian Red Crescent is leading the delivery of aid to Gaza through Egypt's aid mechanism, which is carried out in coordination with all ministries, institutions, the National Alliance for Civil Development Work, and international organizations and friendly countries. The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Abu Bakr Hanafi Mahmoud, held bilateral meetings with the foreign ministers of Zambia, Ghana, the Gambia, Mozambique and Lesotho. On the sidelines of the second day of the African Union Executive Council in Addis Ababa, the meetings focused on ways to strengthen cooperation between Egypt and these countries within both bilateral and multilateral frameworks in the African Union. Egypt has facilitated vital aid and medical assistance for Palestinians crossing Rafah, providing free healthcare, surgeries and humanitarian relief while urging global support amid Gaza's crisis. The Minister of Higher Education, Ayman Ashur, announced the provision of alternative scholarships for students scheduled to be accepted for the second semester of the current academic year at the American university, following the suspension of grants from the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID. The minister also stated that alternative scholarships will be offered to students currently enrolled in preparatory programs, preparing them for acceptance at the American university in the upcoming academic year. These students will have the option to receive alternative scholarships at other universities when the new academic year begins. The Minister of Housing, Sharif El-Shibini, has announced that the total investments in various sectors in Al Abour city since its inception until June of last year have mounted to Egyptian pounds 16.3 billion Egyptian pounds, in addition to 1.1 billion Egyptian pounds allocated in the current fiscal year plan from 24 to 25. The minister also reviewed the status of ongoing service projects in Al Abour city, which include a new hospital project in the Taba area between the 3rd and 8th districts with a capacity of 189 beds. Also, there are ongoing housing projects, including the Roda El Abour project, which consists of 134 residential buildings located in the designated area of the 2nd district in Salam along the Belbais Desert Road. Minister of Civil Aviation, Sama Hefni, visited Luxor International Airport to monitor the workflow, assess operational readiness, and review the services provided at the airport, as well as the smooth movement of passengers in the departure and arrival halls. The Minister of Civil Aviation emphasized the importance of enhancing the services offered to travelers through Luxor International Airport, highlighting its role as a global tourist gateway that attracts many visitors from around the world. The Central Agency for Public Mobilization and Statistics announced the results of the Labour Force survey for the 4th quarter of 2024, showing a decline in Egypt's unemployment rate to 6.4%. The labour force was estimated at 33.124 million individuals, compared to 32.218 million in the previous quarter, marking an increase of 2.8%. The labour force in urban areas reached 14.501 million individuals, while in rural areas it amounted to 18.622 million individuals. That's all Egypt news for now, but here's a recap of the headlines. Egypt intensifies efforts to form a temporary committee for Gaza relief and reconstruction. Prime Minister Madbouli attends 38th African Union Summit in Addis Ababa. And the Egyptian Prime Minister reaffirms Egypt's unwavering support for Palestine's right to self-determination and statehood. That's all for now. Remember to stay updated by following Qnews on social media. Thanks. Bye for now.